It's fine. Okay.
No. Listen!
Tell me the one who safely deemed such destruction. Must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
We're expected to search the galaxy for the home of this creature and deliver it to a race of enemy sorcerers.
This is the way.
Welcome to episode 50 of Radio Free Endor. Wow, episode 50 finally got there, and what better way to celebrate episode 50 but to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10 with my son, Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Rising Moons, I'm doing quite well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Rising Moons?
That is a Star Wars reference.
Is it?
If you know it, you know it.
Well, no, I don't. Rising Moons? No, I'll have to look into that. You giving me homework already, Chris?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Bright Suns is good morning on Batu, and Rising Moons is good evening on Batu.
Well, you've been there. I've not. Not yet.
What can I say?
Not yet.
Seasoned traveller, I am.
Yeah, that's true. Right then, so episode 2, season 2, chapter 10. It's a bit of a mouthful, really, though, isn't it, Chris? Right. So this episode was written by the series creator Jon Favreau and directed by Peyton Reed. Right. Now there is a connection with this with the director, but we'll get into it as we go down. Right. Here's my. Do you want to hear my synopsis of it, Chris?
Be my guest.
Right. After dealing with the ambush on Tatooine, the Mandalorian takes on a job that would lead to more information on finding the Mandalorians. By taking a passenger and her eggs to the planet moon called Trask, by sublight speed only to the next system where her husband will fertilize her eggs. But on their journey to the system, they run into two X-Wings on patrol, asking about the prison break that the Razercrest was involved with. The Razercrest flees to the nearby planet of Maldo Kreis, where danger awaits them. There you go.
My synopsis is, until now, we did not know. The Baba Yaga of the moons of Trask was indeed the child.
That's quite a good one, that is. That's a really good one. Right then, so should we dive into Act 1, the ambush?
Let's go.
Right. So this episode starts immediately after chapter 9, where they've just killed the Krayt Dragon. He's got all his meat and he's heading back to Tatooine to get the ship, basically. And he runs into a bit of trouble, doesn't he, Chris?
Arc from season 1 of bounties on his head, is still quite true. People are still hunting him. And this episode reminds you of that.
Yeah, true. I actually thought, as he was speeding along, I was thinking, oh my god, they're going to take his head off with this. You know what I mean? They're going to... How good is that? That armour is going to be put to its test here. And when they launch that attack, it actually hits the bike. The bike goes flying, and so does the child. The Mandalorian manages to jetpack back down to the ground and straight into a fight.
Get the child!
Quite a quick and fast one, with old tools being used in new ways.
Yeah. Do you know that's a really small alien that got shot in the leg and it was like, ow! no! He was like, to get a bigger gun. And then, the Mando uses the bigger gun to take out the other two. But what I liked about it is when that small alien, he managed to get the child and put a knife to its throat and...
Atroz.
Wait. Don't hurt the child. If you put one mark on him, there's no place you will be able to hide from me. We can strike a bargain. There's a lot of value in this wreckage. Take your pick.
That's a threat and a half, isn't it?
If Liam Neeson could say it himself. If the child gets captured, we're gonna see a new film, The Mandalorian, taken.
Yeah. I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will kill you.
And I will kill you.
Yeah, I'll have to do that with the helmet on. Put it through some synthesizers because that might sound really, really cool. So apparently all that thing. But did you notice instead of like running off with a child, because surely he would have a. How did they get there? Right? Din says he says, you know, there's plenty of profit in the wreckage that I've got here. You know, take what you want, and he points to the guy's jetpack, even though there's a jetpack. The other man, Boba Fett's jetpack that's just lying there.
Well, that's not a jetpack. That's a rocket pack. Slightly different.
It's same thing.
Ah, no.
Yeah.
That's got plot armor on.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah, true. And he actually does the swap. I was thinking, oh man, he's losing his rocket already. You know what I mean? And then he gives it to him. Mm-hmm. Then what does he do?
He forgot to take the controller.
Atoma. Pull it. Ah!
Okay. Here. It's yours. Take it. It's okay.
Atu. Squando.
You okay?
Forgot to take the controller, and he launches the guy, and you just hear it go whoosh, and the child looks up at the Mandalorian, and he just goes, gives him a shrug, doesn't he, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, Fud. The jetpack slowly comes down. Now, my son Nicholas, your brother Chris, he goes, whoa, that's so cool. The way it just lands, just like a SpaceX ship, and then it fell over. Which is SpaceX doesn't do, but it just went, dush.
It's quite light, to be fair, so it's quite easy to fly without a human on. Mm-hmm. So, well. But the reason they did not take a vehicle back to Mos Eisley was that it was a robot driving it. Only humans.
Yeah, probably. Because I was thinking, like, what? How did they get there to do it, to ambush him? And he had to walk back, and that was a serious walk back, wasn't it? Serious walk back.
The moons went. The sun went down and the moons came out.
Yeah, but luckily enough, he managed to get back to Mos Eisley and to the ship, and he didn't even stop for a drink. You know, he just walked in straight to business.
He was my last lead on finding other Mandalorians.
Well, you might be in luck. Dr. Mandible here says he can connect you with someone who can help you. If you cover his call this round. He said.
What's the bet?
500.
That's a high-stakes game.
Hey, he's on a hot streak. Is the pot right? Ha! Idiots! Hey, Thorax!
I thought you said he was on a hot streak.
Ah, stop your crying. You'll rust. All right, he says the contact will rendezvous at the hangar. They'll tell you where to find some Mandalorians. That's what you wanted, right?
Yes.
All right, right, well, stop your moping. More importantly, did you bring back any of that dragon meat? Better not have any maggots on it. I
A
don't
lot
like
of
maggots.
new aliens were shown in that.
Yes, there were. Now, this is where we said the director of this episode was Peyton Reed. Now, the lady that was fixing the Mandalorian ship, Palo Moto, she was actually playing Sobat with Dr. Mandible. Dr. Mandible. And what was he, Chris?
From the Ant-Man.
Giant ant. Yeah, he was a giant ant. So that would be the link with the actual director of Ant-Man.
It is a galaxy far, far away.
It's true.
You don't know?
Yeah, it's true. And she certainly knows her business, because she actually managed to get the Mandalorian to sub the round for pay, knowing that she was going to win it. So that Dr. Mandible had to give the Mandalorian the information.
But it wasn't even information at the end of the day.
No, it wasn't
Because
really,
the
was it?
frog woman gave the information.
Yeah, the frog lady. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So I was saying to Chris, but just before we came on air, that we've broke this down to 3 acts, and that to me was the first act. Where he actually made it back to Tatooine. Now, this Act 2, would you say, Chris, would be the passenger, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what did you make of this act?
It just goes to show, without a droid like C-3PO, people still can't communicate.
You said only last week, has he got like a universal translator, didn't you? Something like that. And I said, well, no. And I said, he's got to learn many, many different languages in his business. And then this episode actually proved me wrong, that he didn't. He
didn't know everything.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything. He just knows certain languages. She was really... I loved her design, like a frog. And she was carrying a vat of eggs, a spawn, in this little vat. And I said to my Nikki, my wife, I said, that should have a sign on it saying, and you can buy this at Galaxy's Edge.
Maybe so, but that would be exploitive slave trade, and that's illegal.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
to the New Republic.
The New Republic. Yeah, but you could put your drinks in it to keep it cool, couldn't you?
Maybe so, without the eggs.
Yeah, without the eggs. Now, she says, I'll stake my life on it. I trust her with my life. And he goes, okay, because he sort of trusts her, doesn't he? And then he goes, how long have you known her? And he goes, I met her today. About 5 minutes before you did. And he says, I'm a good
judging character.
Judging character, yeah, which she is. To be fair, she is. She certainly knows people.
However, there is one small skank in the scud pie.
Which is?
The contact wants passage to the system.
Do you vouch for them?
On my life.
Fine.
And no hyperdrive.
You want me to travel sub-light? Deal's off.
It's 1 sector over.
Moving fast is the only thing keeping me safe.
These are mitigating circumstances.
What do you mean, mitigating? I'm not a taxi service.
I know, I hear you. But I can vouch for her.
What's the cargo?
It's her spawn. She needs her eggs fertilized by the equinox or her line will end. If you jump into hyperspace, they'll die. She said her husband has settled on the estuary moon of Trask in the system of the gas giant Kolibin.
She said all that?
I paraphrased.
Is she sure there are Mandalorians there?
She said her husband has seen them.
Do you know the husband?
No, I just met her 10 minutes before you walked in.
I thought you said you vouched for her on your life.
What can I say? I'm an excellent judge of character.
But the thing is, he could not go hyperdrive, could he, with these eggs? Did they actually say why?
No, but I can take guesses why.
Go on then.
Okay, so basically, if you want to take anything, let's say that on planet Earth, when we get an X-ray, loads of gamma rays get shot through us to see our organs, right? It doesn't kill you, but it's still quite a lot of radiation.
Yeah.
Right. So you could say that, you know, every time you go through hyperspace, you get this radiation.
Yeah.
But it's not lethal radiation, it's just radiation. And that could kill the eggs.
Yeah.
That's my in-canon theory in my head.
That's a good one. I quite like that. Well done on that one. I was thinking on the spot, Chris. That's brilliant.
I.e. radiation would kill the eggs.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Or deform them.
Yeah, so we had to go sublight, which means more trouble. It could be ahead for him. But he still takes the job because he really needs the information, doesn't he?
Very much so.
Yeah. Now, what did the child spot? Well, the child spotted these eggs and thought, tasty. Yeah. And then once they get moving and then they're flying away, the child sort of goes down exploring and what does he find? I thought this a bit weird because if she's taking her eggs, why would she just leave them in the cargo hold? You know what I mean? You think she would have them with her all the time?
Well, you know, there's 3 people on the ship, so why would they be destroyed?
Yeah, but one of them's hungry and wants some to eat.
Well, as I said in my synopsis,
Yeah.
on the moon of Trask, they will be teaching their children that Baba Yaga is under the bed, and he will come and eat you.
Yeah.
And he's little and green.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
pointy ears.
With pointy ears. So they're flying about, and they come up to 2 X-wings that want to ask why they're not flying with a transponder. With it's like an ID beacon, isn't it? And the Razercrest is pre-Empire surplus, so it doesn't need one. But they do say to the Mandalorian that this sector is now under New Republic jurisdiction, and all crafts are required to run a beacon. Now, the 2 pilots is Carson, Tava, and Trapper Wolf. Now, Trapper Wolf, of course, is only Dave Filoni, so that's why he's called Wolf. So he's got the wolf pack, yeah. And I was trying to see who the Carson Trevor is, if he's a director or something, but I didn't get round to look. So they start like asking a couple of questions, and the Mandalorian's like a little bit does the old interference, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't seem to have one. This yeah. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'll just switch it on now.
Razercrest, is there a problem?
We notice your transponder is not emitting.
Yes, I'm pre-Empire surplus. I'm not required to run a beacon.
That was before. This sector is under New Republic jurisdiction. All craft are required to run a beacon.
Thank you for letting me know. I'll get right on it.
Not a problem. Safe travels.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you. Just one more thing.
Yes?
I need you to send us a ping. We're out here sweeping for Imperial holdouts.
I'll let you know if I see any.
I'm still gonna need you to send us that ping.
Well, I'm not sure I have that hardware online.
We can wait.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be working.
That's too bad. If we can't confirm you're not Imperial, you're gonna have to follow us to the outpost at Adelphi. They'll run your tabs.
Oh, wait. There it is. Transmitting now. Be quiet.
What's that?
Nothing. The hypervac is drawing off the exhaust manifold.
Carson, can you switch over to channel 2?
Copy. Was your craft in the proximity of New Republic Correctional Transport Boston 5?
You got a runner. I'm on it.
They go into attack mode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And it's like, oh.
Surely no one's really trained them very well, because surely they'll just stay behind the Razercrest.
Yeah, Razercrest.
Surely they'll just stay behind the Razercrest.
Yeah, they would have pulled back behind it. Then
instead of just being next to it.
Yeah.
Like, their guns don't shoot sideways.
Well, you know, the Republic are the good guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're the good guys. But that whole scene then that followed on from that chase scene, I thought it was fantastic. Now, the planet they do head to, which is like an icy planet, Maldo Kreis. Kreis. Now, this planet, we've seen this before, Chris. This planet was in episode 1, chapter 1 of season 1. And this is the planet where the Mandalorian got his first bounty, you know, from the pub, yeah?
No robots.
Yeah, so it's quite a dangerous place anyway, because they've got those big, massive, like, walrus things underneath the ice as well. But this is in the caves where it's more dangerous, that's for sure. But I was thinking, God, look at that, the X-Wings right on his tail, and he's using every trick under the book. And then he decides, I'm going to do a free fall. And he turns off all his engines, and the crest just falls straight down. And then he powers him back up, does a couple of skidding and slides, and trying to prove that the Razercrest is built out of the same metal as the Millennium Falcon, which it's not. And it comes to a sliding standstill, and then the X-Wings pass over. Whew, safe at last.
With the Razercrest not fully destroyed you.
And then, of course, he's on thin ice, isn't he, with this? Where he's landed. Literally thin ice.
And it broke you.
Yeah.
And he fell.
That's where the majority of the damage happened, isn't it? When it just went straight for the ice into a canyon below. And I was thinking, oh my God, how is he going to repair this one now? This is like, it's proper destroyed and leaks everywhere. Well, the Mandalorian at that point, he's thinking, well, what can I do now? I'm going to fix it in the morning. Give it some time. But the frog lady, she's got a message. She needs to talk to the Mandalorian. Of course, he doesn't understand a word that she's saying, does he? But she spots then on the Razercrest's wall a protocol droid. Now, this protocol droid was the droid Zero, Q90 from the episode Breakout. I can't think what the episode's called now. And he was the one that flew the Razercrest to the prison ship. Good job he doesn't chuck anything out in it. And she actually operates it, so using that she can then communicate to Din Djarin.
Wake up, Mandalorian. This cannot wait until morning. Do not be alarmed. I bypassed the droid's security protocols and accessed its vocabulator.
What the hell are you doing? That droid is a killer.
These eggs are the last brood of my life cycle. My husband has risked his life to carve out an existence for us on the only planet that is hospitable to our species. We fought too hard and suffered too much to resign ourselves to the extinction of our family line. I must demand that you hold true to the deal that you agreed to.
Look, lady, the deal is off. We're lucky if we get off this frozen tomb with our lives.
I thought honoring one's word was a part of the Mandalorian code. I guess those are just stories for children.
She's only got a limited amount of power to get in time to get them eggs to the planet before her species is wiped out, sort of thing.
No, it's not her species, it's her line.
Her line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lineage, yeah. So then he's like, oh, God, looks like I'm going to have to start fixing it then. You know what I mean? So he goes out and he has a look at the damage, and it's proper broken, isn't it? Proper broken. But before that, you know, when he goes downstairs to have a look at the wreckage, and he spots Baby Yoda, it's the child, eating an egg.
No! No! I told you not to do that. Found them! How many did you eat?
Well, you'd think she'd notice.
Yeah.
Maybe she will notice.
How many? By the time he
Four of them are gone.
Yeah. How many did the child eat before he actually went out to repair the ship?
I think he ate 4 on camera.
Yeah. Is that including the last one as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so she locks it up. So he literally eats 3 then because of the last one, and he must be quite hungry because when the Mandalorian is repairing the ship, the child comes out and goes, "Hey, hey," and he's like, "No, go back in the ship." And he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh." Then he walks back. He goes, "Hey, where you going?" And then he sees that the frog lady's disappeared.
I always think that, you know, in the time where we can land on other planets, at the exits of every door would be a list. Assume the planet is hostile.
Yeah.
Do not go outside unless you know it's not hostile.
Yeah.
Stay in the ship.
Yeah. And in little subtext underneath that would say, see the film Aliens for reference.
Also, if you leave the ship, you're not our responsibility.
Yeah.
Bye.
All passengers that leave the ship are not the responsibility of the captain. That is true. Hey, we'll have to make that up as a sticker, Chris. That's a bumper sticker.
Maybe so.
Yeah, or stick it on a t-shirt. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Now, he goes off... the tech in his helmet is fantastic because it can pick up the footprints, the warm footprint signature. Heat sink, yeah. And he takes a walk, and there she is in a spa with all her eggs floating around in that hot spa. She's loving it. She's thinking, hey, this ain't too bad. This is all right. But, and he's going, oh, no, you can't do. So he starts putting the eggs back in the canister. And, Baby Yaga, what do you call it? Baby Yaga.
It's not Baby Yaga, it's Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. The bogeyman. Yeah?
Yes.
He's like, I'm still hungry. What are these things? And he walks over to what looked like eggs. And now I said to my missus, has he never seen Alien? Do you never walk over and look in an egg? I mean, on an alien planet? And he sticks his hand in, and what's he pull out? Food. And he eats it.
And if you have arachnophobia,
yeah,
this is not the episode for you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And of course, as he eats, he sort of like notices that all the other eggs are starting to rock, starting to peel, starting to crack, and many little eggs are slowly pouring out. And then the Mandalorian looks around and goes, uh-oh, we're in a bit of a problem here. What did you reckon to this scene? The lead up to that.
Well, it was obvious that there was going to be a monster. That wasn't Baby Yoda, but spiders in the cage.
These
don't leave the ship.
Yeah, these spiders have been on before. I'm sure they're in Rebels. They're in the show Rebels that Ezra communicated with them, and they've been in many of the books as well. So it was they were like crystal spiders, if I remember rightly, and it's actually fantastic to actually see them on the screen. Absolutely fantastic to actually see them on the screen. In fact, I've got one of the pictures of them as my screen picture on my PC. The rays just look fantastic. Now, of course, you've got your baby spiders, but what do you need? And they're all in various shapes and sizes. And you have some really big ones. And you think, they're the parents. No, they're not the parents. The parent is the big spider that slowly looks down on them and starts chasing them. So, how fast can Lady Frog get changed? She goes,
it's just a rag.
Yeah, she whips it, yeah, she puts on her clothes, and Mandalorian's picking them up, and he's shooting, picking them up, and then they both leg it, and she starts running like a proper frog, doesn't she? She's leapfrogging down the...
Well, it is a TV show, but if this was a game, I'd look at my inventory and go, flamethrower.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Just straight away. Just remove all the little ones.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah. There's
I've
been many
run.
games like this where all the little creatures are running up to you, and you're like, and then you got to do that.
I wouldn't even use the blaster. Just flamethrower them.
I would have flamethrowed them. I would have just gone. But you actually see the startup mode of this flamethrower. And I was thinking, I'm sure that flamethrower is faster than that. I'm sure it's faster than that when he powers it up. And so he burns no end of them, and he legs it. Then he uses some explosives on the tunnel, and which collapses it, and you actually see the mummy spider. What you think has been blasted, all the face is all blasted up and hits the ground. But the spiders are still coming. Still coming. Man, I'm not a particular fan of spiders myself. I hate them. Right? But this whole scene got me really bad, Chris. I was thinking, God damn, they're all like everywhere. Nicholas said to me, he goes, oh man, it's like Harry Potter. You know, the spiders scene in the Harry Potter film.
In the Forbidden Forest.
And he actually said, look at that, it's a white, it's an albino Aragon that came running after him. And how fast they got to the Razercrest. And then they got into the ship. And then he got up to the top hatch, and they were just pouring out. There were so many of them. And then he got into the cockpit, and there were still hundreds of them, and they were blasting, firing. Some actually made it into the cockpit. He sealed the cockpit up, and the frog lady blasted the one that was dancing around on the child's head. He was like, ah! It was bouncing on his head. And they thought, we're safe. But they weren't, were they, Chris? They weren't even safe then, because Mummy Spider has survived. And just as they were taking...
Or was it Daddy Spider?
No, it was Mummy Spider still, because it had the blasted face still. And as they were trying to take off in the Razercrest, it jumped onto the top of it, crushed it back down onto the ground, smashed the cockpit windows, and then it was going to go in for the kill.
And that's the end.
No, it ain't.
It could have been.
No, yeah, it could have been. And then, of course, right at the last moment, they get saved by some blaster fire, and the two X-Wing pilots had managed to find the Razercrest and managed to blast away the remaining of the spiders, killing the mummy spider, killing all the rest of the little spiders.
When you was watching the events transpire, you saw the blaster fire. Who was your first thought of who it was?
I thought it was Mandalorians.
You thought it was Mandalorians?
I did. I honestly thought there were more Mandalorians in the caves, in the cave system, and they were helping out. I did not think they were the X-Wing pilots. I thought they'd swung off. You know, and they managed to... The Mandalorians had managed to catch the signal of the Razercrest was in the planet being chased, and they just followed the signal and found the ship. I honestly thought that.
Well, I thought it was, and this may sound terrible...
Yeah, go on.
Boba Fett and Slave 1.
What it is?
Oh. Well, whatever Slave... Yeah, what is ever Slave 1 now?
Yeah, whatever.
You know?
I wonder what's happened to it. That's been a thread since last week that I've been following on various websites. Where is Slave 1?
We ran the tabs on the Razercrest. You have an arrest warrant for the abduction of prisoner X6911. However, onboard security records show that you apprehended 3 priority culprits from the wanted register. Security records also show that you put your own life in harm's way to try to protect that of Lieutenant Davin from the New Republic Correctional Corps. Is this true?
Am I under arrest?
Technically, you should be, but these are trying times.
Let's say I forego the bounties on these 3 criminals. And you two help me fuse my hull so I can get off this frozen rock.
What say you fix that transponder, and we don't vaporize that antique the next time we patrol the rim?
One of the biggest point about them X-Wing pilots was that they didn't say, you're free to go. We'll help you rebuild your ship. It was pretty much, we've saved you. We're off. You might still freeze.
Yeah,
see you later.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Because he says, you can help fuse my hull together and help me get off this rock. And they went, nah. Maybe you should just fix that beacon so we don't vaporize you the next time we see you. See ya. You know.
And off they went.
Yeah, off they went.
Maybe their pastime is watching Mandalorians freeze.
Yeah, they had to get back to the to the next episode.
I really hoped it would have been Slave One. Just add that in there.
Yeah,
so that would have been.
It would have been really, really cool. So they let him off with a warning. He manages to seal up the cockpit. He takes off, and then he's doing a really slow, a slow trip to the next system. So anyway, what do you reckon to the episode in all? Any favourite bits? Any letdown bits? What do you reckon?
The child is learning, for good or bad.
Yeah,
growing, becoming something that we are yet to know. Very standard. It's a very filler episode. You know, they're obviously write out their main plot points that they want to achieve in the season, and then have to work out how to connect the dots. And you can't go with a full blow in episode 1 to a full blow in episode 2 and follow. Yeah, you have to go up and down and up and down.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah,
my thoughts: a great episode for a middle episode.
For an episode 2, I thought I'd loved it. I absolutely loved this episode. From the beginning, the ambush had me thinking, oh my god, this is going to be nasty. And there's some real good bits of comedy, you know what I mean, in this show. Do you know, just slight bits that make you go, oh yeah, you know what I mean, and make you smile and stuff like that. And of course, it's got the nostalgia as well, back to Tatooine, back to the canteen, and she was sitting in the same booth that Han Solo sat in. And if you have a look at the concept photos at the end, she's actually got her feet up on the desk with blaster shot scoring on the wall from where Greedo shot Han before Han shot first, should we say. So it was good with that. And of course, with the giant ant, the connection with the director, that was good. Dr. Manables. I thought, what? He's a doctor? Can you just imagine him being your doctor?
Well, he's doctor on the ant planet.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Of ants.
I suppose ants need doctors as well. Yeah. And then, of course, the character design of the frog lady with her eggs, child eating them all the time. And that last scene as well, where the Mandalorian's like, Ram, go and kip for a bit, wake us up when we get there. And she falls asleep. And the child looks behind. Everyone seems to be asleep. Oh. It sticks in one in his mouth. What's going on? Man. Ugh. What is it with that child doing that? I loved it. And especially the design, the spiders. The spiders were really, really good. And it gave me that creepiness of... It was proper like Aliens, but Star Wars style. You know what I mean? That fear of an oncoming enemy. There were so many of them. He's only one guy with one blaster. He's using all his tools in his toolbox, sort of thing. His weapons in his toolbox to try and outsmart them with a blaster, with the grenades, with a flamethrower, but they were still coming. I loved it. I really did. You know, especially with all the spider webs and it was just really good. I find it really hard to believe that they film most of this stuff on stage. I really do. You know what I mean? But that technology they're using to film these series is just remarkable of what they can do now. To me, if they can do this kind of thing for a TV show in studio, you know what I mean, surely that's going to cut down prices for filming a film, a full-length feature film, the same way. What do you reckon, Chris?
Well, in terms of technology, business, and Star Wars was the biggest thing Disney acquired in Lucasfilm, but the Trojan horse was industry. It was
ILM.
Industrial ILM.
Yeah.
And what does ILM stand for?
Industrial Light and Magic.
And the technology that they've made is that previously you would put an actor on a green screen.
Yeah.
But with this technology, you surround the actor with screens that are configured to the camera.
Yeah.
So when the camera changes angle, the screens and the background changes angle to match that camera.
Yeah.
So it gives them a very lifelike perspective.
Yeah.
Making things like the shine on Mando's armor even better because it's real. Yeah. It's not real because it's projected from screens, but the effects are real and no longer computer generated.
Yeah.
So a lot of money spent on development and time I think I watched a video on Recode about it, and what they were saying is the people that manage the screens are like 10 people that are literally sitting there configuring the screens while the filming's happening.
Wow.
So they can go from Tatooine in the morning to the ice caves in the evening because technology.
Yeah.
And a lot of these scenes are literally like a simulator, so you can put the sun there or there and set the light of day.
If I remember rightly, they literally have half or a quarter of the Razercrest, and then the rest of the ship is actually projected in the screens. So as the camera moves around, it looks like it's got its whole body still attached. What do they call it? They call it the Void.
It's the LED stage production.
Yeah, the Void. There's a great episode on Disney Plus, Chris, in Star Wars. What's it called? Galleries, Star Wars galleries, where it's like the making of. And if you go through, there's like 8 episodes. They did the same thing with Frozen. There's about 8 episodes, and one of them is all about the technology in that they start using in this. Now, I find that brilliant. I absolutely find that brilliant. That technology they've made it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The only
it's built with the same engine of Fortnite, Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
The Unreal Engine is used to build the backgrounds, 75-inch diameter performance space, powered by NVIDIA GPUs. 50% of Season 1 of Mandalorian was filmed on it, and I'm for sure bet it's over 75% of Season 2.
Yeah, because in between last season and this season, they revealed that brand spanking new Unreal Engine, didn't they? That made everything seem a little bit more realistic. So they'll be implementing that into the Mandalorian quite easily. It makes me, think what else can they do with this technology, and what else will Disney Plus? It wouldn't surprise me, Chris, if some of the new Marvel TV shows that are coming out by Disney Plus will be using the same technology. Like WandaVision and the Winter Soldier. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when that comes out, I bet you they're using the same, because you could do real planets, can't you, as well as planets. You could do Earth, couldn't you, as well?
Yes. You tend to find Industry Light and Magic is on the credits of a lot of films. Industrial.
Yeah.
I did say industrial.
No, you went industry.
Industry.
Yeah.
Industrial Light and Magic are on the credits of a lot of films.
A lot.
If you Google their filmography, I bet it's across the board.
Yeah, I bet it is. Chris, do that now. How many films has Industrial Light and Magic been involved in? And also, Industrial Light and Magic do that VR for the Oculus as well. That X Labs, they call it, which is fantastic. So they're using the same technology that they use in these TV shows actually into VR for the common person to wander around. Because to me, it's good having an episode VR game where but I would love one that would just explore planets. You know what I mean? In the universe, where you could actually be a sightseer, say like on Tatooine, interact with different people, walk around, and a bit like that the new one that's going to be for Canto Bright for Galaxy's Edge. That's going to be a little bit of like a walk around, as well as an adventure game to take place, but that's all in VR.
Mm-hmm. So here's some of the things of this year and upcoming things that Industry Light and Magic have been working on. Lord of the Rings, Untitled Star Wars Obi-Wan, the Lord of the Rings TV show, the Untitled Star Wars Trilogy, Free Guy, Blade, Metal Gear Solid, Mission Impossible 8, Jurassic World, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Fast and Furious 9, Black Widow. It goes across the whole industry because they've basically built a brand new way to, one, bring down costs. 2, bring down actors' contracts. Because if you didn't know, a lot of contracts normally say, I will only film in the state of California or Georgia, and so there's a lot of negotiations to where actors are allowed to film and where they're not.
Yeah.
In a studio in California, you can make that anywhere, or London, for example.
It's very true.
But back to the points. The next episode, do we know anything about it yet?
I'm just Googling it now, because when I go onto the Mandalorian Wikipedia, it just say the episodes. Yeah. But, so it's got Chapter 9, Chapter 10, the 2, and when we recorded last time, it actually said Chapter 10, The Passenger. Now, according to the Season 2 of the Mandalorian Wikipedia, there's nothing. It says to be announced. Couldn't tell you who director is going to be directed by, but I can certainly tell you it's written by Jon Favreau, and it's going to be on November the 13th, which is this Friday coming. Now, I'm just checking Wikipedia. Let's see if it's on that. Doesn't say that either. Doesn't have the title of what it is, so we don't know. We don't know. I don't know where else to look. Is there a trailer out for it?
What do you think? But the original trailers, what do you think is going to come next? Delivery of the frogs, and what else?
Right, I can certainly tell you, if you remember, Chris, on one of the trailers that we watched last week, where the trailer starts off with a Razercrest floating through space, and it is heavily damaged, the doors open, and that's the beginning of of chapter 11. That's going to be that. So they're going to be flying, and you'll actually see them deliver the passenger, and he will get the information he needs for the next Mandalorian. Now, in that trailer, if you remember rightly, actually, let's just whip back, because isn't he in one of the trailers, Chris? He's actually on a boat, if I remember rightly.
He is.
Yeah, so the Mandalorian Season 2 official trailer, you actually see the Razercrest going over another planet towards an Earth-type like planet, and the Razercrest is battered. So, yeah, so he's going to go there. In that trailer, right, if you can have a look at it, the Mandalorian Season 2 official trailer, at 46 seconds into it, boats are that, and you see the passenger and her husband, and the Mando's walking behind them. Yeah, and she's got one egg in the jar. yeah, not that many. Yeah, it's got twins. No. But look at the species that are walking around. They're squid heads. They are classic. I can't remember what their actual official name is, but as an action figure, he was Squid Head. He was in Jabba's palace originally, but that is a shipping. So they're going to that was their planet then. Yeah, it's their planet. And then he gets spotted. Somebody's watching him in a cloak.
Well, that could just be.
Could that be Ahsoka? But they've not painted her face.
It could be. Disney have changed trailers in the past. With Thor, in the trailers he had both his eyes, and in Ragnarok he actually lost his eye before that scene. In Avengers Endgame, Thor was thin in the trailer, but in the film Thor had let himself go. So it could be. Things do change.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be. I think we'll probably see Ahsoka next episode, maybe. But I do think we won't see Boba Fett now. After watching the second episode, I don't think we'll see Boba Fett. I think Boba Fett will be left for season 3. I think he'll be teased, but nothing more.
Yeah, there's a lot of call. I've been seeing a lot of call for a Boba Fett TV spin-off.
Yeah.
Right then, Chris. Let's wrap this up. Final thoughts for the episode with your score, please.
I'm going to be conservative, not because these are standard numbers, but because I think The Mandalorian is one of the best. I'm going to go with a 5. Great, really good for The Mandalorian, but nothing earth-shattering.
Okay, I'm going to go with 8.5 on this. for the simple fact is, it was so good for me. You had the classic X-Wings, you had that fight scene in the skies, you had some serious maneuvers, and then you had the creepiness with the spiders, and more spiders, and it was just good. So definitely an 8.5. I think there is plenty for improvement on The Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Where is it heading? But you got, you know, compared to other shows that are out there, this is proper leading the, you know.
And that's why my scale is slightly, you know, different with Mandalorian. If we was comparing Mandalorian to, you know, Game of Thrones final season, you know, final season of Game of Thrones was 6 out of 10. But I'll be rating most of these Mandalorian episodes 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. But I think if I just rate everything 8s, 9s, and 10s, it means no room to expand. And I think The Mandalorian's a TV show that its quality is so good that I have to bring my scale down a bit. So when something is really, really good, my scale shows that.
I like that. Yeah, you've got a fair point on that, Chris. Brilliant. Right, so I can't wait for the very next episode, that's for sure. And we'll try and get together again for that one, won't we? Right, so, Chris, where can the listeners get hold of you? And where can they listen to your podcast? So you got any new episodes out yet?
Yes, I have a new episode out comparing Next.js to other JavaScript frameworks on my own podcast, FS Jam.
Jam on Toast.
Now on all podcast platforms. They can find me at Burned Chris on Twitter.
So remember, you can show your love for this show and look ultra cool at conventions or at work or everyday use. Since we're on lockdown now in the UK, it is just to look cool while you're sitting on your sofa. With an official Radio Free Endor t-shirt available at TeePublic. I'll try and get some new designs made up actually to reflect Mando talk, especially with one with a bumper sticker on, which Chris can give an outline to, and I'll put it together. On iTunes is the best place to download this show, but as far as I'm aware, you can listen to Radio Free Endor on many, many different good or evil podcast servers. But while you're leaving, if you're on iTunes, please leave us a 5-star review. It's the only way of going up the charts and making us a little bit better than the rest, that's for sure. You can also reach out to us on social media, so search for us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And we might be going on Twitter, and also we're on Discord as well. I'm actually we're actually going through Discord at this moment, aren't we, Chris? It's the first time I've used it. I know you've used it a couple of more times, haven't you?
Yeah.
But we'll see how we go with it. But I suppose with Discord, there's always that opportunity to add somebody into the conversation as we're going over it, I suppose. So I'll send the Discord to Jason W. Chrisman, and so hopefully he'll be able to nip in and give us his 2 cents on the episodes as well. It'd be always nice to get somebody else's perspective as well, wouldn't you say, Chris?
Very much so. To join the Ghost Heads Discord, you would type in discord.gg, capital U, capital R, lowercase u, capital Q, 36, G, capital X, 2, and capital K. And that will invite you to the Ghost Heads Discord. A link can also be found in the description of this podcast.
Yeah, that's correct. Because the reason it says Ghost Heads UK is because my son Nicholas set it up for my other podcast, Ghost Heads UK, which is a server. See, it's all new to me, this Discord. But what we'll do, Chris, we'll also open one for Radio Free Endor for Mando talk as well, and we'll put that online to see if anybody else wants to join us as we go along. Yeah, we can. That'd be great. So we are at Radio Free Endor. You can also find me at Jamie_R_Burns, and our email is radiofreeendor@gmail.com. And like Christopher said, you can also reach and get hold of me on my Ghostbusters show, which is Ghost Heads UK podcast, and that's Ghost Heads UK Our email for that is ghostheadsuk@gmail.com, which will be discussing some brand new developments with the new Ghostbusters film that's out, especially with the props that have slowly leaked, with the new remote controlled traps that can be deployed from the back of Ecto 1. So I'll be having a discussion about that. Probably not myself, but we'll see if we can get in. Hey, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that just leaves me to say goodbye, and I'll see you next week for the next episode of The Mandalorian. See you later.
What, you want me to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Till the Spires.
Why is this Till the Spires?
It's Till the Spires. It's
Till
goodbye.
the Spires.
I'm pretty sure it was. I swear it's Till the Spires now.
Well, you know, you're making this reference, and I ain't got a clue what it is. I'll take it. It's from Galaxy's Edge.
It is. I'll teach you through them. So there's bright suns. That's good morning.
Good
afternoon.
morning, yeah.
Rising moon. Good evening / night. Till the Spires. Till the Spires. See you later.
Yeah.
Good journey. That's goodbye. May the Spires keep you is also goodbye. Only the ancients know. I don't know. Happy sun cycle is happy birthday.
All right.
I'm sure there's more.
I used to love saying Good Journey. I had an episode of Radio Free Endor called Good Journey, because Good Journey is what they say in Masters of the Universe film in the 80s. Good Journey. Good Journey. Yeah, I like that. Instead of goodbye, I like Good Journey. Yeah. So we'll end it on with that one, shall we? Good Journey.
Good journey.
After dealing with the ambush on Tatooine, the Mandalorians take on a job that would lead... let me restart that again. Damn! After dealing with But on their journey to the system, they run into some X-Wing... into some X-Wings on patrol, asking about the prison break that the Razercrest was involved with. They ran into two X-Wings. Let me restart that again.